we're looking at how to get the best out of your staff. So you have staff working with you. You want to get the best out of them in order for them to perform their peak. Number two, you want them to be loyal to you so that you're sure that they're not just going to wake up one day. You're not just going to wake up one day and find out that they have disappeared. And then number three, you want them to stay in the company for long and help be a part of the growth. You want them to just love and be a part of the growth of the company. All right. So we're looking at how to get the best from your staff. How to get the best from your staff. And I think I will start from a brief rundown. So there are two major things that will make your staff work very hard and stay with you. Two major things that will make them work very hard, love their job, want to be a part of that organization, want that organization to grow for long, and also for them to stay with you all the way and be loyal to the core. These two major things are, number one, pay. Pay. I'm not saying salary, just salary. Pay. And then number two, relations. You see, because some people will stay in certain companies just because of the relationship that they have either with the boss or with their colleagues in the company. So people will stay with it, even if another company is offering them higher pay. So people will stay with other companies just because of that relationship that they have. And also, if the relationship is very good and every other thing is nice, but they realize that they are being shortchanged, they could still leave. They could still leave. So these two major things, pay and relations, you must pay attention to them. Now, when it comes to pay, the first thing you need to know is that Romans chapter 4, verse 4. Romans chapter 4, verse 4. So you can open your Bible, you know where you are. Romans chapter 4, verse 4. It tells us, I think today I'm going to use the Message Bible also, because the Message Bible seems to be very, elaborative of this particular thing. But, well, in the King James, it says, now to him that worketh is the reward not reckoned of grace, but of debt. DEBT. It's saying that for the person who works, his salary is not a gift. That's what Message says. For the person that is working, his salary is not a gift. It's not grace. It's not I'm gifting you. The salary of the person that is working is a debt. You are owing the person. I have a particular staff who, whenever we pay salaries, will send me a message and say, thank you, sir. I say, please stop telling me thank you. Because it is your money. You worked for it. Stop saying thank you for paying you something that is your own. You understand? So it's not so. Now, many people think that when they increase salary, that people are going to also increase in productivity. It's a lie. Salary is not a motivator. It is a demotivator. In other words, if you pay salary, I won't be motivated to work well next month. But if you don't pay, it will motivate me. So salary does not do the job of motivating. It does the job of demotivating when it does not come. Because salary is a debt that must be paid. Your staff don't see it as a favor to them when you pay them their salary. Even the staff that I said that would always send me a message and say, thank you, I got my salary, thank you. Even that person, if I don't pay salary, maybe for 2 months or 3 months, the person would feel like, boss, my boss is owing me money. You understand? So it demotivates rather than motivates. So increasing salary does not or make them loyal. No, it doesn't. It may work for the first month. In fact, for that first month, you see them hailing you, hey, the boss, hey, anything where you say make I do, I will do it. and then they are all over the place. But after a while, everything will go down. Why? Because they will become used to it. You were paying 100,000 before. Now you are paying 150. They are saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. After like 2-3 months, if they see 120 in their account, voila. Voila. Why? Because it's a debt you are owing them. So it doesn't motivate them. It can only demotivate them when it is not available. Or when you are saying we're doing salary reduction because something happened in the company or something like that. You understand? So salary is a debt. Now, so when it comes to pay, what are the things that you should do in order to your staff? Let's go to 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 5. Apostle Paul did practically a breakdown of practically everything that must be done. 1 Timothy chapter 5 from verse 14. It's taking time to load on the system. Interestingly, I already opened it, but now it's not responsive. 1 Timothy chapter 5 from verse 14. Oh, I really want to read it. First Timothy 5, Message translation. Comes up immediately. Okay? So, in any case, while we're waiting for internet to, to do its thing, you want to look at the things that when it comes to pay that will help them to stay. The things when it comes to pay that will help them to stay. Number one thing is that when you give them extra responsibility, you also give them extra pay. If you are the kind of person that always gives extra responsibility and does not follow it with extra pay, they will start feeling used. So the moment you start giving them extra responsibility, now you're in charge of this, or now you'll be doing this, also always give them extra pay. And anybody who has ever done a 9 to 5 before, you know what I'm talking about. You know how it feels. When they give you extra responsibility in the office and there's no extra pay to go with it. Can I get somebody's phone so I use it for this? This is not working. When they give you extra responsibility, you must always give them also extra pay. Number two, you must always give them incentives and bonuses, especially when the company makes more money than expected. You see, because when it comes to pay, the major thing you're trying to guide against is not to look like you are being, like the staff is being used. The major thing you're trying to guide against is to establish to them that you are not trying to use them. That whatever they work for, they will also get the reward for it. So give them bonuses, give them incentives. Every now and then, can I get a message translation? I can probably get it from Google. Every now and then, give them bonuses, give them incentives. People always like a company where when the boss just comes once in a while, maybe every Friday, he will just give everybody 10K. That 10K may not be so much, but they value it more than even their salary. The salary is a debt. That 10K, that's the one that they will be talking about when they get to their friends circle. That every weekend, my boss always gives us money for weekend. He will give us 10K. The other day, my boss just came in and he just gave everybody 5K. Those things do way more in making the staff feel appreciated than their salary. Their salary must come, because if it does not come, it will demotivate them. But always add those things. Once in a while, maybe you say, okay, once every year, one person is going to travel abroad in the company. Once every year. And you put a particular threshold and say, okay, if you can meet this, then you will go abroad, all expense paid trip, you and your spouse. You will see how everybody will love that company. They will love, even if I'm not the one that is going abroad this year, the person that is going abroad, when the person comes back, I will be so interested in the person's trip, and I'll be like, so they sent you abroad, free of charge. Those are the things that motivate people and make them feel like they're not being used. Next year, everybody wants to be the one that will go abroad. Then maybe at some point you say, oh, this person has really done very well and all that. He has met this, he has met that, and met that. We're giving this person a free car. Your staff will love you. They will love you. They will love the company. You gave this one free car. You sent this one abroad, on an all expense paid trip. You sent this person on, maybe not abroad, but somewhere for a training and something. They will just love you. And they won't even know when they have spent 5 years, they have spent 10 years in the company. So always be interested in giving them incentives, be interested in giving them bonuses, all those extra things. Somebody is about to get married. When the person is planning for his wedding, you give them wedding planning allowance to save that they will use to plan their wedding. Something happens in the company, and then the company allocates, maybe, okay, we're going to take care of all the drinks. Maybe you are doing a party as well. We're going to take care of all the drinks. Those things make them feel cared for, make them feel loved. All right? So that's when it comes to pay. That's when it comes to pay. Now let's go to Roman, 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 5. We'll take it from verse 17. 1 Timothy chapter 5 from verse 17 to the end, that's verse 24. And I'm going to have to take it one verse at a time. The elders who direct the affairs of the church well are worthy of double. What? I asked for MSG. No, this is NIV. Yes, message. Okay, yes, right. But no, see, no sound. You didn't hear the sound. Okay, so we have yes, message translation. It says from verse 17 to verse 24. Pay attention. You see this 1 Timothy 5, 17 to 24. If you understand it and you start using it in your company, 1 Timothy 5, 17 to 24. If you understand it and you start using it, you will see the difference in the mood and the attitude of all your staff. You will see more loyalty, you will see more productivity. Okay, so it says, give a bonus to leaders who do a good job, especially the ones who work hard at preaching and teaching. Give what? Bonus. Those who do a good job, who meet certain targets, give them bonus. They know that this is what there was a particular organization that I was with, and I used to tell the staff and say, this is the amount of money that was made last month, or maybe in whatever period. This is the amount of money that was made, this amount of money, using it to motivate them to work harder and make more money. This is our target. This is what we're trying to hit. Yesterday, this is what we did, and it doesn't look like we're going to hit our target that way. Whoever failed in their own will now pick out in your own aspect where you failed. This is your punishment for failing in it. And whoever succeeds, this is their own benefit for succeeding in it. And at the end of the period, everybody knows if we hit the target or if we, don't hit the target. But somehow accountants don't usually like that. Accountants don't want anybody to know that there's money. If I ask an accountant, we need money for this, their default answer is there's no money. But we just got government contract and the government has paid. Their default answer is what? There's no money. So accountants don't want anybody to ever know that there's money. They believe that
The only reason you are bringing requisition is because you know that there is money. They don't believe that you are bringing requisition because there is a real need. So somehow the accountant stopped that practice of having people know, and then what happened? Motivation. Because now they don't even know how much this other. They don't even. There is no target that they are going for. Whereas the accountant was doing that because the accountant felt they will be calculating that what's now the difference between their bonus and what they are getting. Whereas you just need to explain. Let them know that, see, you are getting bonus not out of, let's say, 5 million naira that we made. Not out of 5 million naira. You are not getting bonus out of 5 million naira. You are getting bonus out of 2 million naira, which is the profits. So there is cost to the company itself, and then maybe it's 2 million naira. If it's maybe, and I said 5 million naira as an example, but whatever amount it is, 500 million naira, you are getting bonus out of 200 million naira. Not out of the entire 500 million that I are saying. And the reason that we have to reserve this is because see this cost, see this cost, see this cost, see that cost. But make sure you give them a bonus so they don't feel used. All right. So verse 18. For the scripture saith, thou shalt not muzzle the ox that treadeth out the corn, and the laborer is worthy of his reward. Remember I told you, the laborer is worthy of his reward. Don't stop their salary. Don't muzzle the corn that is treading. They are the ones that are getting your harvest for you. Don't shut their mouth and say they cannot eat. Give them their salary. If you want them to work, if you are not paying them their salary, you are owing them. And even God himself, even the Most High God himself, he said it. He said, whoever is going to hold the salary of these ones, that he himself is going to go against such a person. He says, woe unto such a person that holds the salary. So make sure that you pay salaries, you pay complete salaries, and you pay on time. You pay on time. And if the salary is not going to complete because of salary reduction, maybe because of theft or something like that, make it explained. Make it explained. If not, you will demotivate them. Now, 1 Timothy 5 verse 19. It says, against an elder, receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses. Now we've come to the stage of relations. The way you relate with them and the way they relate with you. It says here that when somebody comes, especially an elder here is maybe a senior staff, an HOD, a senior staff, comes and that person is accused. Don't accommodate that accusation except with 2 or 3 responsible. I don't know why it doesn't say responsible. It says responsible in my own message translation. This is KJV, right? Oh. So MSBS says, don't listen to a complaint against a leader that isn't backed up by 2 or 3 responsible witnesses. Don't listen to a complaint against a leader that is not backed up by 2 or 3 responsible witnesses. Do you know why? Every staff sees his senior colleague as an example of his future. I'll repeat that. Every staff sees his senior colleague as an example of his future. So me, I've worked with you for only 2 years. This other guy has worked with you for 10 years. Then an accusation came, and this guy has been zealous. He has done a lot for the organization. He has, broken bounds for the organization, gotten contracts, done a lot of things for the organization. And then there was one accusation against him. And I know that accusation is not true. But because you heard that accusation against him, you sanctioned him, you fired him, and I saw him suffer. Now tell me, do you think I will also work as hard as that guy? I won't. Why? Because I can see that those who suffered for you, the moment you just suspect that they did something wrong, they get the hammer. So that is going to demotivate me completely. So for the elders, for the HODs, for the senior staff that you have, Please and please, if there's an accusation against them, don't even listen to it except it is coming from 2 or 3 responsible witnesses. You know those that are responsible in your organization. It's only when those kind of people, those people come and make that accusation to you, that you should say, oh, this has to be addressed. That's when you should say this has to be addressed. Pay attention to this particular one, very important, because I have seen it happen in not 1, not 2, not 3 organizations, where the head, where the junior staff sees how the senior staff was treated and says, no. This is not a place where I can give my all. This is not a place where I can give my all. I've seen it happen several times, and unfortunately, many people don't realize it. In fact, they think that many, heads of organizations, they think that they are giving an example. They are giving an example to the junior staff. They think it's a good example, so that the junior staff will not also do that same thing. They don't realize that it's a bad example, because there were no up to 2 or 3 witnesses to it, except if there's evidence, concrete evidence, or 2 or 3 responsible witnesses. Don't listen to such accusations. Don't, because why will I be loyal to you if you are not loyal to me? I've been loyal to you for 10 years, for example. I've been loyal to you even for 5 years. Even if it's just for 2 years, I've been loyal to you. And then all of a sudden, somebody else just comes and tells you something and you just believe it. And you believe the worst of me just because somebody else came and told you something. Or even 2 or 3 people came and told you something. I learned something from my mother in the Lord. Maybe I should not say this, but one thing about my mother in the Lord, Pastor Mrs. Folo Adeboye, is that she will always have your back if she knows that you have her back. If you are a son or a staff who is loyal, she will always have your back. When they try to come against you, she will be the one to fight them. Now, she can now come back to you and tell you, you know that what you did was absolutely wrong and you should never do that again. I am going to punish you, but she's not going to allow those people do the punishment. She will stand and she will defend you anywhere. She will fight for you anywhere. Then she will now turn back to you and fight against you, between you and her. If you were wrong, if you did wrong. When you have, that's why you see that in the religion of God, people have stayed for donkey years. You see some people 20 years, 30 years. They stay. Why? Because they know that my senior colleague, those that went ahead of me, were not treated badly. They were not treated badly. So those who have served you, especially the elders, the senior ones, those who have served you, please and please, don't listen to accusations against them, except it's coming from 2 or 3 responsible witnesses, or there is concrete evidence. And even at that, sometimes you still tell those people to go. Tell them to go. Then you now face, don't let it be them. Don't let them pounce on that person. Even if you have to fire the person, tell those people to go. You now face the person and address it with the person. Protect that person's interest. Any other staff that is on that will look at it and say, I like the way my boss handled this. Yes, my line manager was wrong, but they protected the person's interest. And that is someone that appreciates hard work. Now I will work hard and I will not do what my line manager did. All right? So always be very, very careful to sin. Call that person on the carpet. Those who are inclined that way will know they can't get by with it. So now, you see, if somebody now has done something absolutely wrong, and this is not even an elder, let the others know this person did this particular thing wrong, and that's why this person is getting this punishment. And with that, they know, oh, I should not do that same thing. Even when it's an elder also, and the person did it wrong, like I said, don't let the people pounce on that person. You address it with that person. Don't be a part of them saying, this person did wrong, and then you now join those people that are trying to. No. Tell them to go. Shut it down. Shut their rumors. Shut their rage against the person. Shut it all down. Then you address it with that person. Then you can now come back and let everybody know this and this. If you, for example, have to fire the person, you have to suspend the person or something. This and this is what this person did, and that's why the person is going to be punished. And when everybody knows, then they will also not do the same thing. They will also. So that's why it's saying that you should take them, bring the person on the carpet where everybody would know that this and this is what this person did. Verse 21. God and Jesus and angels all back me up in these instructions. Carry them out without favoritism, without taking sides. Without favoritism. You know, we all know that there is that staff that you love the most. You know in your heart, but you must not let anybody else know. Just like you know that there's that child, if you have more than one child, that you love the most, but you must not let the other child know, or the other children know, that this is my best amongst all the children. No favoritism in the office. No favoritism at all. No partiality in the office at all. If there's partiality, trust me, productivity will drop. Productivity will drop drastically. Never ever say, this person is my best in this office. Never ever say, this person is the closest to me in this office. Never ever show it that you prefer one person working with you than another person. Never show it. If you prefer one person working with you, like the way the person works and all that, put the person in the position where they are always working with you. And it will just be by virtue of their position, not because you like the person. No favoritism at all. You see what Apostle Paul said there? He said, God and Jesus and the angels all back me up in these instructions. Carry them out without favoritism, without taking sides. Without taking sides and without favoritism. So, if you want your staff to be loyal, if you want them to give you their best, don't do favoritism. Don't let it be that it's always you and this particular staff. Anything that person does, that is wrong, you take your eyes off it. But if somebody else does it, the hammer comes on the person. Don't do that. No favoritism of any kind. Then it says, although this one is, it's not really based on relation. It says, lay hands. Okay. It says, don't appoint people to church leadership positions too hastily. That's for the manager. That's for the manager. Don't appoint people to leadership position too hastily. Don't be too quick to say, oh, you become HOD, you become manager. Don't be too quick to do that. And I don't want to go, into what's it called? Verse 22, where it says, if a person is involved in some serious sins, you don't want to become an unwitting accomplice to it. So verse 24, let's move to verse 24. Some men's sins are beforehand, going before to judgment, and some men they follow after. Oh, sorry, MSG. The sins of some people are blatant and match them right into the court. Obvious. The sins of others don't show up until much later. In the same way, good deeds also, the same with good deeds, and this goes to the favoritism aspect. Some people, you think that they are perfect. You think that they are perfect. Some of your staff, you think that they are perfect right on. But some of them are terrible. Is later on you will now see their true color. So if you have already taken this one that you think is perfect and you have made him a standard to everybody, whereas one or two people know the bad things that person is doing. Imagine that. They know the bad person. So you are encouraging the bad behavior. Some other ones, they are obviously bad. Obviously, they are bad. But some, they seem to be good. And then there are some who you don't even know how good they are. Maybe because they are a junior staff and then the senior staff is the one that reports to you, so you don't know how good that person is. Treat everybody equally. So that the day the bad behavior of the person that you thought was very good comes out, it's easy for you to address it. The day the good behavior of the person that you thought was bad comes out, it's easy for you to address it too. Because how will it be if the black sheep of the office, the person you're always complaining about, you don't like, everybody knows that you don't like that person, is now the one that saves the company on a very good day? You will now have to come back, with your head bowed to say, thank you so much. Because you know that you didn't treat the person well. So some people, their good will be very obvious. And you may feel like, but some of them, they are bad. There was a particular lady who posted that her staff, a female staff, that she loved this staff. She loved this staff because the staff was always on point. Whenever the boss is not available, things that the boss is not available with, the staff was always on point, always getting everything right and giving her peace of mind. And the staff had worked with me for 2 or 3 years or so. So she loved this particular staff. Until one day, somebody came to the office, saw that her staff, while she was in the office, saw that her staff, a shop, setting, saw that her staff and said, congratulations on your housewarming. She looked at her staff, you have built house? That one said, no, I didn't build house. So, he said, okay. And she just acted as if she did not, hear that. Then she said she didn't build a house, maybe it was her boyfriend or so. Then she went to get policemen, and then they started investigating. This girl took her to the house. Apparently, she had just built a duplex. And she was like, with the salary I'm paying you, you couldn't have been able to afford this duplex. And you're not doing any other business that I know. Good enough. I don't know whether it's good enough or bad enough. They got inside the duplex and found the madam's products, plenty, worth over 2 million naira inside the house. So what she has been doing is she has been selling for herself. The madam will buy. The madam also was quite negligent. The madam will buy. She will save money to buy more and sell. She was running her own business. And herself and her boyfriend had come together and already built a duplex on top of another person's business. And she thought she was good all the years that she had been working with her. Some people's good will show. Some people, it will seem as if they are very good from the beginning. Some other people, their own good is later on that you will see it. Be equal to everybody. Be equal to everybody. Lastly, John chapter 6, verse 68. John chapter 6, verse 68. It says, in John chapter 6, that's after Jesus had fed the 5,000, after he had fed them, some people were now looking for Jesus. And Jesus now said, you are not looking for me for anything but for bread. It's bread that you want to eat. You want to eat again, give bread. That's why you're looking for me. It's not for the word of God. So he now told them, he said, you want to eat bread, Abi? Come and eat my flesh. Come and eat me. Oh yeah, take knife, slice me and eat me. Put butter and eat me. And they were like, what kind of hard saying is this? He said, if you don't eat me, or if you don't drink my blood, he said, then woe unto you, something like that. And he said, what kind of hard saying is this? And some of his disciples started leaving him. And then Jesus turned to his 12 and said, are you not also leaving? And they said, where are we going to go? In your mouth is the word of life. Always inspire your staff. Let them always, when they hear you, when they see you, let them always feel inspired. Bring out the giants in them. Don't talk down on them. Don't abuse them. Don't kill their spirits. Inspire them. Give them life. Let them feel more alive when they are around you. That's how they can stay with you. Because in your mouth, they see life. They see life for themselves. Bring out the giants in them. Tell them that you don't want them to be at the level that they currently are. That you want them to grow and go higher. Tell them that they can do more than what they are already doing. Call them in and tell them, I can see that you have this particular gift. I need you to work more on that gift. I need you to grow in that gift. I want you to be on this level. I want to be on that level. Inspire them to be great. Inspire them. When you are always inspiring them, even when everybody else is turning against you, they will not leave you. Why? And if you turn to them and say, why are you not leaving me when everybody else is leaving me? They will tell you, in your mouth is we have found life. In your mouth. So always seek to bring out the giants in them if you want to get the best out of them. You know, a good friend of mine, or good friends of mine, Olorunseyi Sunday, Dr. Olorunseyi Sunday, and Wisdom Ezekiel, the heads of Pertinence Group. They have staff that have been with them since they started that company 12 years ago. They have staff that joined them when they were not married, got married, have maybe 3 children, and are still with them. And then they have staff that left them, but are still affiliated to them. In other words, they have left the company, but they are still working with the company in many ways and doing many great things. You should buy their book. I think it's called The Pertinence Story. You should buy their book and learn from them. They have raised billionaires, multi-billionaires. People who worked with them, who they brought out the giants in. Some of them remained in the company. Some of them went outside and started by themselves. But all those people are still affiliated to them and loyal to them. Why? Because in their mouth they found life. They inspired them every time. They brought out the best in them every time. So people stay with them. In fact, some of their staff, they are the ones who will say it's time for you to step out and be on your own. For some of their staff, be like that. If you do that, you will have low staff turnover and you will have high productivity amongst your staff. Whether you are present or not present, you will have high productivity amongst your staff. If you notice that whenever you're not around, or whenever you don't impute into the process of operations, your staff don't usually do very well. It's very likely that all these things that I mentioned, you are not doing them. If you notice that they are not by themselves embodying the vision of the organization, they are not by themselves taking action, even when you are not there, suggesting to you, let's do it like this, let's do it like that, and by themselves carrying the company on their head, so to say, then it's possible that you're not doing these things that I mentioned. So maybe you want to watch this video over and over and over again until you imbibe these qualities that are in 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 17 to 24. And if you do, I'm assuring you, staff will no longer be a problem for you in your company. Thank you very much. Once again, it's Business Bible Study. We meet every Tuesday, so I'll see you next week Tuesday at 5 p.m. Thank you.